Target was one of many companies that have dropped DEI, diversity programs, in recent months. Some black-owned businesses who sell through Target say they fear a drop in their sales. And some of your favorite Red Robin locations could soon close. The chain is considering up to 70 underperforming locations across the U.S. and Canada, according to the company's latest financial report. It comes as Red Robin reported more than $77 million in losses last year. Red Robin has 55 locations across California. It is unclear which ones will close.
All right, so meantime, the TSA is gearing up for a busy spring break travel season, so it's sharing some tips now to help make the process as smooth as possible. Okay, so the agency says the peak spring break travel period begins today through March 24th. The TSA is expecting air travel numbers to jump more than 5% during this time. The agency suggests that you should pack smart, of course, arrive early, have a valid ID with you, and brace for long lines, the usual. This all comes as Hilton releases its 2025 top spring break destinations for U.S. travelers. Some of the most popular spots include Cabo.
Love it.
I know, same. Costa Rica.
Love it.
Yeah. The Caribbean.
Love it.
Cancun.
Love it.
Bobby D did not chime in there. And Las Vegas.
I'll say no more.
That's right.
What,
they're all good locations.
Yeah, they're all good looking.
They're all good.
Any place is fun when you're not working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, right
Sure
about
is.
that.
Right.
Really, anywhere is good.
I'm going to have my bachelorette party in Cancun.
Oh,
Are you?
Not Cancun, not Cancun.
Oh.
Cabo, Cabo.
Cabo.
Ah, Cabo. Very sexy.
You gotta go to the office.
The Office?
That's the restaurant.
Yeah, it's a restaurant.
It's right next to.
Put your little piggies in the sand.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I did 2 restaurants. One is the office, and one's right down the road or something. The other
They have Edith's.
is it Edith?
Well, that's the one that's the it's owned by the office, same people.
Oh, 'cause
but
it's that too.
It's like the upper scale one.
Yes, it's really fun. They have best margaritas.
Yes.
Yes. Now I'm daydreaming about Cabo and spring break. Okay, so we have the showers that are still out there. Not as widespread as yesterday. The winds are breezy, picking up some current winds here, sustained 20-mile-an-hour winds in downtown LA. So some of those wind gusts are actually stronger than that, 15 to 20 miles per hour in Big Bear City. We do have several weather alerts in place, including the high wind warning. So I mentioned the winds because up in the high desert areas, we do have some gusty winds near 50 to 60 miles an hour. Those wind gusts also up towards the Inland Empire and our mountain location. So we do have those winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings for the San Bernardino Mountains. So travel up to the high country, of course, very hazardous at this point, especially with that snow that's falling and that snow level continuing to fall closer to 3,000 feet. So scattered showers today, kind of a mixed bag, a little bit of snow as well, additional snow, and we also expect some sunshine. So the recipe's there for that chance for thunderstorms, and that, of course, can cause and trigger those mud and debris flows. So you really have to still stay very much alert, pay attention to your phone when those alerts go in place. Make sure you move if you have to. Those warnings, evacuation orders, that kind of thing. Dry and warmer weekend ahead, though, so that's the good news. Here's your 7-day forecast as we take a look at a drier Friday. Maybe some lingering moisture early in the morning, but the weekend looks fantastic. Remember our daylight saving time problem with losing 1 hour, so we go forward 1 hour with our clocks. And then next week, Monday, Tuesday, another storm system moving in. And even after that, Thursday, Friday, an even stronger storm, perhaps, moving in. But snow up in our mountains, 29 in Big Bear today with all that fresh powder. Somebody's got to look at our traffic conditions. Driving in the rain and the wet roads, of course, very dangerous, so be careful, right, Samantha?
Yes, be extra cautious out there. And if you're heading into the high country, perhaps rearrange your plans. And always carry snow chains, especially when we are dealing with winter weather alerts. And outside right now, we do have a problem spot to bring to your attention. If you're driving and you have to be on the roads, and this is part of your commute, to northbound side of the 101 at 4th Street through Boyle Heights, a vehicle collision is taking away a lane of traffic, Joe. Just a heads up there. And your drive leaving downtown to get to the west side is going to take you just a half an hour. There are slick roads out there, so please be extra cautious out there. Here's a live Caltrans camera of the downtown commute, northbound side, southbound side of the 110 at Wilshire Boulevard, currently moving along just fine. Now sending back over to Galinda and Oz.
Ah, okay. Are you Galinda and I'm Oz? Is that what this is?
I guess so.
Yeah, that's
I'll
right.
be Galinda. Coming up, some parents are naming their babies after some of the characters of Wicked. And those names are soaring in popularity. We'll tell you which ones.
Tell me someone's going to name their kid Elphaba. All right, so Star Wars Celebration in Japan is happening next month. We're going to show you the Star Wars popcorn buckets that will be available at Disneyland resorts for a limited time when we come back. Welcome back. After signing a new deal with the Rams, quarterback Matthew Stafford spread the love to his community.
It's amazing. The quarterback and his wife, Kelly, surprised Pasadena High School and the Pasadena Panthers youth football teams with brand new uniforms.
Nice.
I'm here for these kids and for this situation, that they've been through and just trying to do everything I can to give back to the community. These guys are probably going to be playing football, in college or in the NFL here pretty soon. So it's fun to be able to get at them, at a young age and at the high school level and be able to take care of them and hopefully, spring it forward a little bit.
Both teams' equipment ravaged by the Eaton fire. The Staffords is alongside the Rams. Donated over 200 uniforms to various age groups, but not before surprising them at a team banquet.
Kelly Stafford's a friend of the show. Love her. Yeah, what a fantastic
Great stuff.
gesture and nice words from him, too.
Yeah.
I know these guys are going to be in the pros someday. So,
Yeah.
yeah, right? How encouraging is that? All right, coming up, how long do you stick with a new show before you decide if it's a hit or a miss? One episode? A full season, perhaps? We're going to tell you what an online database is saying.
It's not going to be a full season.
It's not going to be a full
Usually
season
one
for
or
me
two.
either. Yeah.
Where do chicken nuggets belong? We'll tell you about the little girl going viral for insisting they go in her shoes.
Oh, boy. Okay. Okay, sweetheart.
There you go.
Good morning. Happy Thursday, 6:30 on this Thursday morning. I'm Jen Lammers.
It's March the 6th. I'm Bob DeCastro. Thanks for starting your morning with us. Here's a look at some of the stories we will be covering this morning. Mario.
We're live at Pacific Palisades, where wildfire recovery efforts continue, as well as the increased risk of mud and debris flows with rain in the forecast. Details coming up.
Also, we have a warning for you. If you're buying a car online, police have just busted a Craigslist car scam. What you need to know to avoid becoming a victim.
Plus, a park in Altadena is getting a makeover after it was damaged in the Eaton fire. How city leaders plan to revitalize the space. We'll have more on that, but for now, let's get over to Maria for a check on our forecast.
Yeah, indeed. The rain still in the outlook today. We've got more spotty showers. Yesterday, it was really more widespread, but today we have a little added instability, and so that's going to give us thunderstorms in the forecast, and if that occurs, then we get really concerned because those thunderstorms can trigger those mud and debris flows. We're going to zoom in a little bit here in Orange County. There's a little spot of a heavier downpour here off the 241, just north of Mission Viejo, near San Juan Capistrano. We've got some showers offshore. Temecula, good morning to you. You've got some showers falling here, occasionally heavy just off the 79. And if you're getting ready to drive on the 15, you might encounter some of those showers coming out of San Diego. So just be careful, please, if you are heading out. Some areas are wetter than others. Yesterday, we had some pretty nice rainfall totals. Downtown LA got over half an inch of rain, and we're going to probably add to that today with more rain in the forecast. It was only 62 degrees yesterday, below the average today, even cooler as the colder part of the storm moves a little bit farther south. So we're expecting just 57 degrees today, well below that average of 69. The sun will set later this afternoon at 5:54. And as we look at our timeline here, notice some of that shower activity that I just pointed out over Orange County. At 2 p.m., we're going to see some more pockets of rain here through parts of L.A. and Santa Clarita, 49 there today at 2 p.m., 53 in Boyle Heights, to just 25 in Big Bear Lake with that snow continuing to fall in our local mountains. Let's check back with Samada now and see how that drive is looking. Some of the roads are wet. Some of the roads are dry. Yeah, right?
Really depends on where you are headed. And if you're headed out the door, make sure you do give yourself some extra time for the fact that, yes, you could encounter some of those soggy roadways. Here's a dry look through downtown, northbound side, southbound side, the 110 at Wilshire Boulevard. Things are moving along quite swiftly at this hour, but of course that could change as the rain may start to impact those areas later. Weather and mudslide possibilities has PCH still shut down till further notice in both directions, from Sweetwater Canyon Drive through Malibu into Santa Monica to Chautauqua Boulevard, and yes, Topanga Canyon Boulevard at Fernwood Pacific Drive all the way down to PCH also shut down. And here's a look of real-time traffic. Give yourself about 22 minutes. Northbound 110 from the 405, and if you're leaving westbound 60 from 57 inbound, you're going to add 30 minutes to your drive. Now sending it back over to you two.
All right, Samada, thank you. So all the wet weather this week has people in the Palisades burn area keeping a very close watch on those fire-scarred hillsides.
We've got Mario live in the Palisades with more on this. Mario.
Bob, Jen, good morning. You may be able to make out that break in the clouds here behind us in the Palisades, but residents in these flood-prone burn zones are still dealing with the increased risk of mud and debris flows with multiple days of rain in the forecast. We're along PCH and Sunset Boulevard, and this stretch here is still being used to access these burned or damaged businesses and homes, only open to residents, contractors, and essential travel with one lane of traffic. Now, there were no major issues caused by the latest round of rain, but take a look. It did cause mud to come down onto PCH near Big Rock Drive. It blocked traffic until crews cleared it out with heavy equipment, which is on standby this morning up and down the coast here on PCH because there is more rain on the way. LA County Public Works crews, meanwhile, they've been going out across the area to make sure that these flood control systems are prepared, and they continue to clear out debris basins as they fill up with each storm. Meanwhile, about 2 months after the wildfires erupted, tearing through thousands of homes and businesses, Mayor Bass and recovery leaders, they are set to make what they call an important announcement for residents of the Palisades, highlighting the progress made to expedite the rebuilding process. We've learned that residents are now able to access original building plans for their lost homes through the city without having to go through the person who designed the building. The city of Malibu also moving forward to update its zoning laws, waiving certain coastal commission requirements for residents trying to rebuild their homes in the same spot. Now, back out here live, Mayor Bass says recovery efforts are months ahead of schedule, and that announcement, that news conference, is scheduled at 9 9 o'clock this morning. We'll bring it to you. For now, that's the latest in the Palisades. I'm Mario Ramirez. Back to you.
All right, Mario, thank you. So 2 men are in jail. They're accused of taking part in a $23,000 Craigslist car scam. The Corona Police Department sharing this video of the arrest. Take a look.
Did you meet anybody when you were there?
No.
At Starbucks?
Of course not. I just walked in, walked out, stood in my car, ate my ham and cheese croissant, my large coffee, and that's it. I already fixed it.
It all started when a victim bought a car through Craigslist, only to find out the registration documents were fake. Investigators discovered the seller, Sebastian Flores, had rented the car through a sharing app called Turo and forged the title. Police set up a meeting with Flores, who showed up trying to sell another car. He was arrested right there on the spot. The second suspect, Lasso Flores, was also detained.
The victim originally reached out to us about 2 weeks ago. Specifically, she found a car online and spoke with the purported seller. So she gave him $23,000 for the vehicle. Unfortunately, when she went to register the vehicle with the DMV, she learned that the paperwork that he had presented was in fact forged.
Both men from Phoenix have felony warrants and very long criminal histories. Buyers are advised to verify vehicle documents with the DMV before making a purchase.
LA City Council member Monica Rodriguez was one of just 2 council members who voted to reinstate former Fire Chief Kristen Crowley. Rodriguez is strongly against Mayor Karen Bass's decision to let Crowley go. The council took up that vote on the same day a recall effort against Bass was launched. Rodriguez joined Fox 11 at 6 yesterday, where our Marla Tejas asked her whether she supports the recall effort.
You don't agree with the mayor on her decision to fire Crowley, but do you support the recall effort?
No, I'm generally not a fan. I don't believe in recall efforts because I believe elections are held for that very reason. And I feel that recall efforts are they're not constructive. I think it's really important that we focus on the work that we have at hand.
Councilmember Tracy Park was the only other council member to vote in favor of Crowley's reinstatement. As for Crowley, we have learned her new role within the LAFD is Assistant Chief of LAFD's Operations Valley Bureau. A community landmark in Altadena is getting a major makeover after being damaged in the Eaton fire.
We're talking about Loma Alta Park, which has been around since 1954. Several parts of the park were burned in the fire, the playgrounds and the landscaping, all of it destroyed. LA County and community leaders announced plans yesterday to bring the park back bigger and better than ever with the help of some major LA sports teams.
The LA Dodger Foundation today announced their investment in Dodger Dreamfields. We also have investments from the LA Clippers to refurbish our gyms so that youth can play. But we also are going to be a home for many places that burn. Our senior center burned in Altadena, so they'll have a satellite here. This room will be a library.
It's fantastic. Loma Alta Park is slated to reopen in May.
It's like slowly but surely, right? Piece by piece, a park here, a park there, and yeah, it's going to take a while, but we're going to get there.
And it's bigger and better and even more fun that I can see from the design. So that's a good thing. The rain has been a good thing. We need the rain. We need a little bit more. We got quite a bit in February, but we really didn't get much at all before February. So we still have a deficit, actually. So all this rain is really good for us. It does help to mitigate fire danger. We had the first round that rolled through here yesterday. It was more widespread. We're getting sort of the colder air part of this area of low pressure. You can kind of tell how cold it is by the popcorn-looking clouds. And so temperatures are going to be much colder today than yesterday. It's only going to be in the upper 50s for that high temperature. Downtown LA expecting a high of just 57 degrees. So definitely you'll need that jacket. And even though it's dry, perhaps where you are when you walk out that door, there is still a chance for scattered showers today. So you want to have that umbrella handy, or at least bring one of those hoodies, a hat, because you could be caught under some of the showers. And there's even a chance for some thunderstorms. So that's why a concern still for all those recently burned fire zones, because that can trigger those mud and debris flows. Tomorrow we'll start the drying trend, and then Saturday and Sunday much better. I'll show you that in the 7-day in just a few moments. So in the meantime, let's head upstairs. Let's get a check from Stu and the traffic conditions out there, of course. But Stu, can you hear us? Can you hear us now?
You know what? Can you hear me now? That was the big question, right? But I'm glad you can. This traffic report brought to us by Morgan & Morgan. Taking a look at that 405 drive. That's technically going to be Fox Hills. If you don't know Fox Hills, think Culver City. And it is slow and go northbound. Coming away from the 405 all the way past the 90. And it just keeps on climbing as you make your way north. That 405 drive, let's call it moderate slowing. Southbound, oddly enough, through the Culver City area, wide open and moving well. Other traffic hotspots, we got them, and we're going to share them with you right now.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Coming up on 6:45 on this Thursday morning, and names inspired by the hit film and musical Wicked are becoming more popular for babies. Data experts are looking at baby name rankings from the Social Security Administration, and searches on the website Nameberry found an uptick for the name Elfie, which is short for Elphaba.
Sure is.
The Wicked Witch. I like Elfie, though. I actually do like Elfie.
Cute.
I do like it. Other character names like Galinda, Nessa Rose. Did I get that right?
Nessa Rose, you did.
Okay, fantastic. And Dorothy also went up.
Where's Bach?
I mean, Elfie's like elf, right? So you're like, your daughter's like an elf?
Elfie. What would Elfie be short for regardless? If it weren't for Elphaba, what would Elfie be short for? I just like it as a name.
You're right. Yeah. I don't think it's short for,
I always think that people kind of, like kids kind of grow into their names, right? Like initially, like you hear a friend or something name their child something, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden they go like, yeah, it just fits them.
It does. What was your backup names? You know you had backup names. Your parents did for you.
Well, mine was Joe because my parents thought I was going to be a boy.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
But Joe would also work for a girl, too.
Of course.
It did. It
Joanne.
would.
Yeah.
Joe
Joe.
Marie. What was your backup, Bobby?
I was supposed to be Robbie.
Oh, I could see you as a
It was
Robbie.
supposed
I
to be
can
Robbie.
absolutely see that.
And
Especially
then,
those glasses.
Yeah.
You're giving Robbie energy today.
Robbie vibes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Robbie vibes.
What was your backup?
Bernadette.
Oh, my God. No, it was not.
I know. So that's what my dad
Bernadette?
wanted. My dad wanted Bernadette.
Oh.
After Bernadette Peters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is
My
fair.
mom.
And then what would your nickname be? Bernie?
Bernie. Yeah, I don't know. Feel the
Weekend
burn.
at Bernie's?
Yeah, Weekend at Bernie's. I don't know. I think Amanda was better.
Yeah, I think so, too. I really
See,
can't
you
see
grew into
another.
your name.
I grew into my name.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
otherwise we'll be like, here's Bernadette.
Yeah.
Bernadette.
Here's Bernadette with your
Can you
entertainment.
imagine?
Yeah, that's right. Here's old Bernie here.
So there
Burning it
are
up.
many different streaming platforms with a bunch of content, right? Sometimes it's a bit overwhelming on what series you're going to commit to next. So how long should you stick with a TV show before deciding this is not worth your time? According to the IMDb user rating, it takes an average of about 7 episodes
Respectfully disagree.
That's way too
for
long.
a TV series to
That's
peak.
way too long.
For example,
being real
Breaking Bad
generous.
fans says it took about 6 episodes for the show to hit its potential, for people to say, hey, okay, this is pretty good. Seinfeld fans say it took 16 episodes for Jerry and the gang to round into form. Yeah.
Seinfeld's my favorite show, so that's really hard for me to think
Yeah.
about. Because
Yeah.
it's hard to think about what a show that had that much success would have been like at the very beginning, because the pilot, as we know, is usually really different from how the show evolves over time.
But this was before streaming,
Yeah.
right? So
This was.
people sort of like dedicated their time and gave it
Yeah,
time to
appointment
sort of percolate,
TV.
stuff like that.
Must-see TV. I have the rule, I'll watch 3 if it's for me.
Yeah.
3
That's
for
like
me.
3 dates, whether you know a partner's right for you, right?
That's
Yeah.
right.
I might do 2.
Oh, 2?
Yeah.
3, but power in 3, you know?
If it's Fargo, it's going to be 1.
I'll tell you, though, White Lotus, let's go.
Wow.
Let's go, season 3.
See, this is why I'm not even watching season
Maria
3.
agrees with me.
What episode are we on right now?
Where they
3.
just had 3.
Okay.
And so I'm going to give it a chance because I'm just a fan of the series, but it's in Maria's words,
I'm underwhelmed.
Wow.
But I'm going to keep going.
yeah.
And people were upset about the music this season, too.
Very different.
Yeah, it's slower. But not slow today on Good Day Late. We got a lot going on.
Okay.
A lot happening. I sat down with Maria. You're gonna love this. John Wick himself. Look at Keanu. Look at
Keanu.
his beard. And I did the shock up for you, Maria.
You did?
I did, and he gave it back to me.
All right.
I said it's from Maria, though.
Look at that beard.
Yeah, he's gonna talk about his latest project. And hey, did you know that he has a business in Hawthorne?
What is it?
I did not.
I'm gonna tell you all about it later on today. Yeah.
Does it have to do with motorcycles?
You are very, very observant. Yes, it does. And a lot of people are into all organic food and other products. If you're one, then Anaheim is the place to be. That's right, the House of Mouse, the city of Disney. We're live with a preview of One Big Expo coming to town. And a luxury hotel in San Diego is drawing attention because of who they won't allow to stay. Great news for single people, not so much for families. More on this adults-only hotel. Have you ever been to an adults-only beach or hotel?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's it like?
It's lovely.
Yeah?
You can go in a pool without worrying if there's something around you.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no screaming kids.
That's nice. That's kind of what I want.
Yes.
There's some casinos that, you can't really bring a stroller through there. 'cause
Yeah.
It's just like they just,
Yeah. Certain
a lot.
clientele. It's a lot. Yeah.
So I want to go back to backup names because I think you said you grow into your name. So apparently, my mother shares a story that I was named by my uncle because they wanted to have a nun in the family.
Okay.
So they named me Maria Teresa.
Okay.
And so I'm sorry to my uncle. I just did not grow up to want to go into convent.
Right.
And
The convent life wasn't for you.
yeah, it just was not the life. Yeah. So that didn't work.
But the name stayed.
But the name stayed.
Yeah.
What's your uncle's name?
Well, I had like 10 uncles. I don't know which one it was. Uncle Taba.
Was it Bing or Bong?
Uncle Taba, I think, named me, which means chunky
Oh.
in Filipino. It was not Uncle Dodong. I know that. See, the Filipinos, the names become
Right.
these, Uncle Dodong, Uncle Taba, Uncle Junjun, you know, those kinds of. Okay, I hear you, Carla, producer. Here we go. Let's talk about rain before I run out of time. Oh, my goodness. We have some spotty showers out there. That's going to continue. This pattern will continue today, okay? So hit and miss showers. Sometimes you might get caught under a downpour, and then you'll drive through that, and then there'll be some sunshine. So that's the kind of day we're going to have, kind of a mixed bag. Just be careful, please, driving, especially if you're heading to the high country. We do have some hazardous driving conditions because of the strong winds and, of course, the snow that is falling. The weekend looks fantastic. And then we've got the, well, daylight saving time. So remember, we've got to set our clocks forward an hour. Another storm is headed our way Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, and then an even stronger storm, according to the models, by the end of next week. So we are not done with this, you guys. Snow up into the mountains. Very nice. Even in the Coachella Valley, there is a slight chance for more showers early this morning. Let's head back to Stu now up in Sky Fox. Speaking of names, Stuart. Stu, what was your backup name? Stu?
You know, I'm so happy that you asked that, because my mom wanted to name me Kareem, and that is the honest truth. That's so. Could you just imagine Kareem? Yep, that was it. And Dean was a second, but Stu is what stuck. Actually, it's Stuart, but you know, I'm more of a Stu. Hey, good morning, everybody. We're taking a look at that 10 freeway, and this is going to be in the Adams area, almost mid-cities, and this is where it gets slow. It's not that super slow and go, but you're basically hitting the brakes right about Vermont this morning, especially on the westbound lanes. Take a look at that. Slow and go all the way out to that 405. Eastbound, ooh, it is nice and open, and it's just moving along. Freeway speeds from the 405 out to the 110, and I can tell you, damp. I would call the roads out here damp, so the rain must have just hit here just a few moments ago. Sending it back to you all in the studio.
All right, Stu, thank you. So, hey, it is tax season. We're going to tell you some of the changes that could save you time and money before filing your return. Plus, there's a debate online about one mom's massive family bed. Why her sleeping setup for 5 has everybody talking. We're going to have more on that when we come back. Time for some good news this morning. So parents will know that kids can do some things that really just can't be explained. One little girl is going viral for where she decided to store her chicken nuggets. Check it out.
Nuggets don't go in your shoes. That's gross. No. That's yucky. Okay, nuggets go in your shoes.
The grosser the better, right? The mom says she still doesn't know why it was so important that the nuggets go in her shoes. And the little lady hasn't done that since. But the video is getting plenty of traction and love online with more than 2 million views on social media. The mom says a lot of comments are people reminiscing about these kinds of moments with their own kids, like how my Ethan drinks his own bathwater. We'll take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Okay, up and at 'em. 15 seconds before 7 o'clock on this Thursday. Thanks for sticking with us. Good morning, I'm Bob DeCastro.
And I'm Jen Lammers. Let's take a look at some of your headlines on this Thursday morning. Another storm moving into Southern California, when it will hit and what it could mean for your drive home later on today. And some companies are getting a break from President Trump's tariffs, at least for a little while. What the latest exemptions could mean for consumers.
And the return of the red. We're hitting the runway. We're catwalking with some Handmaid's Tale-inspired fashion. And it sounds like a bad movie, The Meeting Hangover. Forget March Madness. Get ready for Meeting Madness. Who's ready? Who's accepting the calendar invites, huh? But first, Maria, let's check in on that weather. It was rainy yesterday, girl. It was coming down.
It was very much widespread yesterday. The radar was just covered in the green, but it was mostly gentle rain yesterday, so that was nice. This morning, we're starting out with, look, spotty, scattered showers, and then you see some of the yellow returns indicating some of the heavier cells, but it's moving quickly. We've got some clouds. It just depends on where you are this morning. You could be waking up, heading out the door, and it's dry, it's nice, maybe even just seeing some sunshine, but that's going to be the pattern today. Hit and miss showers, some of it heavy at times. Then when you have a little sunshine mixed with the instability in the colder air, we may get some thunderstorms today. So all of that is in the forecast. 42 currently in Santa Clarita, 40 in Apple Valley. It's 25 in Big Bear. You can see the snow here, the white stuff, and then the pink, that transition between freezing rain and snow as you head up in higher elevation areas. Temperatures are going to be chilly as that colder air mass from that storm system moves down. Temperatures only in the 50s today, 57 in downtown LA. Similar conditions from the valleys and the IE to the coast. Up in the mountains, just 29 in Big Bear with that snow falling, 51 in the high desert to that 62 degrees in Palm Springs. That's chilly out in the low desert. I'll tell you how much longer we can expect these showers to be around. Coming up, my complete forecast. But first, let's head over to Stu. He's over some breaking news right now. Stu, what is going on? Oh my gosh, how did this happen? Good morning.
Good morning, Maria. How did it happen? That's going to be the big question, and LAPD is going to do that investigation. This is happening in Van Nuys at the corner of Raymer and Kester. No injuries. Let's say that out front. No injuries. How did this happen? Well, you thought you were having a bad day. Well, this driver definitely having a worse day. You can see that LAPD down there. They're doing the investigation. There's reports that there may have been another vehicle involved, but you can kind of see the tracks there in that dirt, kind of going through that fence. A little bit of a donut action right there. That's a construction site. And then maybe, who knows what happened there at the end, going through a couple of gates and winding up in the wash. Again, that driver got out safely. Right now, an investigation on how this crash is happening. And again, this is happening at the corner of Raymer and Kester. There's a Target over here, but this is a very light traffic spot, so don't expect any delays. Sending it back to y'all in the studio. Be safe out there.
All right. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Stu. So later on this morning, we are expected to get an update from Mayor Karen Bass on the fire recovery efforts in the Pacific Palisades.
That comes as residents have been dealing with mud and rain from this week's storms. We've got Mario live in the Palisades with more on this. Mario.
Good morning. The mayor will be joined by county supervisors and other recovery leaders, expected to make what they call an important announcement for residents impacted by the Palisades fire. Now, we're along Pacific Coast Highway and Sunset Boulevard. Just above us here, you can actually see a clear example of the damaged structures that still need to be cleared out and the hillsides that are left vulnerable with burned homes and vegetation with more rain on the way. Now, let's show you what that rain did here yesterday along PCH, one of the trouble spots near Big Rock Drive, where mud fell onto the roadway and blocked traffic until it was cleared out with heavy equipment. And that threat in these burn zones remains, even placing residents near the Eaton Fire burn zone in Sierra Madre under an evacuation warning. With more rain in the forecast today and to follow next week, the LA County Public Works Department says crews are conducting 24-hour operations to shore up the hillsides and clear out debris basins and flood channels, also conducting around-the-clock patrols to monitor vulnerable communities around these burn scars. Now, as for the recovery efforts here in the Palisades, power has now been restored to most homes and businesses in the area that are able to safely receive power. And after Mayor Bass toured the site with her recovery czar, Steve Soberoff, this week, it was announced that Palisades residents can now obtain the original building plans for their lost homes at the LA One Stop Rebuilding Center on Sawtelle Boulevard. That follows an executive order from the governor suspending the law requiring city officials to get consent from the designer or the heir before releasing it to the building owner. So later this morning, Mayor Bass and recovery leaders set to make an announcement for Palisades residents and highlight the progress made to expedite the rebuilding process. It's happening at 9 o'clock as officials say they're moving months ahead of schedule, and they're also expected to make building plans available electronically to help speed up the process. Now, coming back out here live, you can see some of the heavy equipment being used in phase 2 of the debris removal process, clearing out all those burned lots. That process started last month, and officials had said that it would be completed within a year. So we're expecting to get an update on all of that here later this morning, and we'll bring it to you as it happens. For now, that's the latest in the Palisades. I'm Mario Ramirez. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Mario. Thank you. Mud flows also a big concern farther inland. Evacuation warnings remain in effect for parts of Sierra Madre near the Eaton Fire burn scar. Officials do fear that any significant rain might overwhelm local debris basins. They're still filled with all the mud, trees, and ash from storms last month. The warnings will remain in effect until Friday morning.
And look at this, snowing in Frazier Park this morning. As much as 2 inches of snow possible in the Grapevine area later on today. Plan on slippery road conditions for sure. The hazardous conditions could impact the commute. Gusty winds could bring down tree branches, so a heads up there.
Yeah, it's possible they could do escorts as well. The L.A. County and cities of Pasadena and Sierra Madre are suing Southern California Edison. They allege that the company's equipment ignited January's devastating Eaton fire. The January wildfire destroyed nearly 10,000 structures and took the lives of 17 people in the Altadena area. The lawsuits claim the fire started beneath Edison's transmission lines in Eaton Canyon. Lawyers are citing eyewitness accounts and video to support their argument. The county and the city seek to recover hundreds of millions for damages to infrastructure, natural resources, and public health impacts. Edison responded it is reviewing the lawsuit and expressed sympathy for the affected communities.
New this morning, President Trump says it is time to close down the Education Department, and an executive order to do so is apparently on the way. A Wall Street Journal report says President Trump could issue an executive order aimed at shuttering the Education Department. The report says a draft order indicates Education Secretary Linda McMahon will take all necessary steps to begin closing down the department, which has 4,500 employees. McMahon has reportedly emailed staff on the coming steps, saying education will be returned to the states and out of federal hands.
As President Trump continues to press forward with his tariffs, the stakes remain high, both on the economic front and in his ongoing relationships with Canada and Mexico.
Lucas Tomlinson joins us now from Washington with more on that. Good morning.
Good morning, Bob and Jen. And that executive order from President Trump expected to be signed at 11 a.m. L.A. time, 2 p.m. local. And this comes 6 weeks into President Trump's second term, where he's also doubling down on his tariff strategy and aiming to level the playing field with trade partners, particularly those in the auto industry.
We support Canada $200 billion a year in subsidies one way or the other. We let them make millions of cars.
President Trump is set to meet with Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum today as the ongoing trade tensions with both Canada and Mexico continue to escalate. The tariffs, particularly on Canada, have sparked strong reactions. After a call with the big three automakers, Stellantis, Ford, and GM, they were granted a 1-month exemption from the new tariffs, offering temporary relief to the auto industry.
I do not understand why he wants to attack his closest friend and his ally. He should be focusing on China.
The president insists the tariffs are necessary to address the trade imbalance and promote American jobs. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt reinforced that message.
He believes in tariffs because they'll ultimately make America rich again. They're going to raise revenue. They're going to help us pay down our debt.
Democrats, however, remain critical, arguing the tariffs will hurt American consumers.
Trump's tariffs are a tax on working and middle-class families. The average American household could see an extra $2,000 a year in expenses.
Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick defended the tariffs, pointing to the pressure they've already applied on our neighbors.
We need to see the Canadians and Mexicans put long-lasting protections in to protect America. Never a step back. There was just a pounding forward move.
Yesterday, the Dow surged nearly 500 points following the delay in these auto tariffs, and I'm not seeing the clicker here to check in on the markets. They've been open now for about 40 minutes. It's notable with President Trump's executive orders today. He signed more than 75 of them to date, but that is pales in comparison to the more than 3,700 that FDR signed when he was in office, of course, for a lot longer, guys.
Yeah, Lucas, I'm looking at the market right now. It's down. The Dow is down 318 points. So it seems to be, you know, going back and forth over the last 3 days.
Yeah, Lucas, there was a report earlier this week that the Honda Corporation decided that they were going to move one of their facilities or planned facilities from Mexico into Indiana to build their Civics there. They say that's going to create some jobs, and the administration's hoping that more of that will happen as these automakers try to avoid tariffs.
That is the goal, is to get more of these plants built into the United States. The big question, though, Bob, is costs. You know, will that same car built in Indiana cost more than it would have been if it was made in Mexico? But certainly good news for American jobs. It's notable that auto imports are actually about 10% of the imports from Mexico and Canada into the United States, but these 25% tariffs on American goods, on some $800 billion worth of American goods, are still there. So we could see some price increases, not just with food, but also with the price of gasoline. Remember, there's tariffs on Canadian gas as well.
That's right. Lucas Tomlinson there for us in Washington. Thank you.
LA residents don't want to hear about higher gas prices.
We do not. We do not. We don't want to talk about it. Not at all.
Yeah.
Traffic here is bad enough.
I'm out.
Yeah.
That's
At
right.
least our Dodgers are awesome, Lucas.
He's a big Dodgers fan?
He's a big baseball fan, yeah. He gives us a hard time about our Dodgers.
All right, still ahead. So you're going to want to check your baby high chairs because one major brand has announced a recall. We're going to tell you which one.
Also, feel the force at Disneyland. We'll show you some of the cool new souvenirs they're rolling out for the upcoming Star Wars Festival.